Recently Forbes released the top Black billionaires of 2024. No, some of y'all need to shut up. Stop acting like you know it all. And be patient. Is the best way to pass down wealth. Did y'all know that most Americans can't even afford to cover $1,000 emergency fund? But if you got name brand clothes on your baby, on your 5-year-old son, and you don't have $1,000 in your emergency fund, you don't have an estate plan for your kid, your priorities are screwed up. There are more than 20 million millionaires living in the United States of America per Credit Suzy. And I'm sure that if you're watching this, then you want to be one of them as well. Maybe you're saying, hey, Anthony, millionaire, that's the long-term goal, but short-term goal, I just want to get control of my money. Recently Forbes released the top Black billionaires of 2024. Michael Jordan with $3.2 billion in net worth. Oprah Winfrey with $2.8 billion in net worth. Jay-Z with $2.5 billion in net worth. The one and only Tyler Perry with $1.4 billion in net worth. Rihanna, the beautiful Rihanna, with $1.4 billion. The baddest golfer to ever hit the land, not just in America, in the world, Tiger Woods, with $1.3 billion. And some would say the greatest to ever play the game of basketball, LeBron James, with $1.2 billion. And I believe one of the brightest and one of the smartest basketball players, Magic Johnson, with $1.2 billion. You see, I did some research on all of these billionaires and found things that all of them have in common when it came to building their wealth for themselves, for their businesses, and their families. And what are some things we could learn from them, at least to become multi-millionaires, multi-thousandaires? What can we learn from these billionaires that we can apply to our lives today that would change our financial tree, our financial future? But before we get there, I want to go to the scripture. I want to go to the Bible. I want to go to the navigation system of our life. The scripture that I want to read today is from Deuteronomy chapter 9. Actually, I'm sorry, chapter 8. I want to go to chapter 8, verse 17. In chapter 8, verse 17, it says that you may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my own hands have produced the money that I have, aka the wealth that I have for me. That line is scary. Because verse 18 says, but remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce the wealth with your hands, and also confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. I wanted to start off this show today to remind us with this scripture that a lot of us think I did this. A lot of us say I built this. Well, don't forget that before you could build anything with your hands, before you could build anything with your knowledge and with your wisdom, God gave you your hands. God formed you in your mother's womb. God specifically made you for the assignment and for the purpose that you're doing to make the money that you're making. So you can't do nothing without God, which is why, while none of us are perfect, which is why I always say, thank you, God, for the business that you've trusted me with. Thank you, God, for the team that you have trusted me with. God, thank you for the ability to do what I am doing. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for the circle of people that you put around me. Thank you for the millionaires, the billionaire, the 100,000aires, the smart people, the wise people that you put around me that can help me grow in my ability. How did these 8 billionaires get this massive increase and become billionaire net worth? And I want to start off with this very first thing that I've, after really doing some research and studying all these people, here's the number one thing that I saw that they all had in common. They all had patience. All had patience. They knew they had the strategy. They knew they had a special gift. They knew they had a special eye. And they knew if they could take just small steps, work the strategy over a long period of time, over a period of time, wealth will come. They knew that wealth is not going to come quickly or overnight. They also knew that I can get rich, but the difference between rich and wealth was rich means I get a large lump sum of money today. I could be rich today and broke tomorrow. But wealth produces another level of income. That wealth is typically producing itself. You see, wealth comes from discipline and consistency. These are the top 2 contributors that contributes to wealthy millionaires and billionaire success. What I saw with them is they came up with a long-term financial plan on how to reach their financial goals. This goes back to what I told you all a few weeks ago, that if you are going to earn your time back, you have to earn money. And how do we earn money? It's simple. Number 1, you got to evaluate where you are. Number 2, you have to arrange the vision. Number 3, you got to render the strategy, and you have to act. They rendered they arranged the vision, aka the goal that they had, and they knew that I can't build this overnight. I got to render a strategy, and I got to sit down and write the strategy that will produce over time. Man, it was just yesterday when LeBron James got into the league. I remember, because me and him are right around the same age. I remember when he went from high school into the league. I remember when Kobe was talking about that. Now look where he is today, 20 years later. I remember when I left Ramsey Solutions. I remember when I left selling cars for Deacon Jones Nissan. But look at us today. I really want you to sit back and think about this. Some of us are so much in a rush that we don't even know time moves quickly. You gotta have patience for the strategy to work. They had patience and they trust the system. Do you have patience? You see, non-patience for you all, it's costing you a lot of money. Non-patience is costing you stress. Ooh, good God. You know, I'm about to offend some of y'all, but I say this out of love. I'm mentoring some young 20-year-olds, and I see this with everybody. But this younger generation is such in a rush to be a boss that they're not patient to learn the skills and the assets to become a great employee, so that those skills and assets can transfer over to being a great employer. You're so quick to be the LeBron James. You're so quick to be the Bill Gates. You're so quick to be the Gary V's. You're so quick. Oh, they could do it. I could do it. No, some of y'all need to shut up. Stop acting like you know it all and be patient. I knew when I was 28 that I was going to eventually one day be my own boss and have my own company. But what I heard clearly from God is you're not ready. And I fought that when I first heard him, but I was 28. I was like, man, I'm tired of going to work. I'm tired of having a boss. No, I needed that leadership. I needed that wisdom. I needed that accountability. I needed patience, because if I would have quit my job, if I would have said, no, I'm not working for nobody else, I would not be where I am today, period. I've always been gifted. I've always been talented, but gift and talents without accountability, wisdom, and knowledge and guidance is trash. LeBron James had patience. He didn't start a business as soon as he got into the NBA. He perfected his skills and got used to the NBA. We're seeing Serena Williams with him, one of the first black females who have ownership into an NFL team. They just invested into the Dolphins. They didn't have this 20 years ago. No, they were patient. They knew it was coming. And if you're going to build wealth, you're going to build it over time. You're going to gain the assets, the skills, the wisdom, the knowledge over time. Which leads me to number 2. Patience. Because they had patience, they didn't rack up a whole bunch of debt. They're not over leveraged, AKA they have very minimal debt. And when I say minimal debt, I don't want to lie, because I know me, I'm the debt-free guy. They do have some debt, but they're billionaires. So they have the money to leverage debt in a way that doesn't hurt them, that 98% of the world cannot do. But when I look into all of them, they are not drowning in debt. I want you to take that extra $100 and use it to pay off your debt early. I did some studying, and I've known these numbers, but I want to make sure I was right. Ramsey Solutions did the largest millionaire study in the world. I mean this, I think it was over 13,000 millionaires they studied. I think the Millionaire Next Door did a study of like 8,000, I think. I want to say 6,000 to 8,000. And Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey, and at the time, Chris Hogan, did this study, and they realized out of the 13,000 plus millionaires that they interviewed, right? These are people who don't make necessarily $1 million a year. They are millionaires. They have $1 million. Their net worth is $1 million. Prime example, LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, they don't make $1 billion a year personally, right? But their net worth is $1 billion. Their assets minus liabilities equals $1 billion. 90% of millionaires have no business debt. Did you know that? They're not starting a business borrowing a whole bunch of money. Did you know this? 77% of millionaires don't even carry a credit card balance. So they'll have a credit card, but they never pay interest. They paid off before the month, before it's due. But 98% of the average person cannot do that. Some of y'all watch my, oh, that's me, I pay it off. Some of y'all are not, you're not doing it. It sounds good to say that, but then you're going home and you're like, no, you're not doing it. Here's the truth. No payment means more money in your pocket and less money inside of the bank's pockets. Why are you putting money into Wells and Fargo's families? Why? Wells and Fargo are two different families. You're putting money into their pocket. Why? Why are you so pressed? Why do you not have patience to wait to buy that cash? Why do you want it now? You don't need it now. You want it now. You don't need the new car. You want the new car. Anthony, my AC went out. Go get it fixed for $1,000 rather than spending $40,000 on a freaking new car. We gotta have patience, and we gotta become debt free. You know, when I think about becoming debt-free, one of the best ways to transfer wealth, to set your family up to, one, become debt-free, or to avoid being debt-free and to continue passing that legacy, is life insurance. I think it's like nearly 60% of African Americans don't even have an insurance policy. Another 20% don't have enough of a policy. So they have an insurance policy, but they don't have enough. And I want to thank my friends over at Ethos for sponsoring today's show. And I really want y'all to hear me clearly. We all need life insurance. So check out this quick commercial. Recently, I've completed my full estate plan, and it's been an emotional journey, if I'm going to be honest with you. But now I have a peace of mind knowing that my family and loved ones are well taken care of. But here's something you may not know that I think you need to know. According to a recent study, nearly 60% of African American adults have life insurance. Now, wait a minute. Many of these policies may not provide sufficient coverage to fully protect their families in case of unexpected deaths. This lack of adequate coverage is a pressing issue among the Black community. It can lead to financial difficulties and potentially hinder the building of generational wealth. In today's time, it's more important than ever for African Americans to give priority to life insurance and estate planning. You see, by doing so, you can ensure that your loved ones are secure in the event of your passing. This covers funeral and burial costs, clears all debts and mortgages, and provides a financial cushion to help them continue building wealth, long-lasting wealth. Don't leave your family's financial future to chance. I want you to secure life insurance today. I want you to get a free life insurance quote through my friends at Ethos. All you gotta do is go to anthonyoneal.com/life insurance. Again, that is anthonyoneal.com/life insurance for your free quote, or click the link in today's show notes. Protect your family's future and attain a peace of mind. Act right now, and let's get back to today's show. So, go to anthonyoneal.com/life insurance. Get a quote today. Hear me clearly. Man, I wish Dre was in, not Dre. I wish Jay was in here. I have him zoom in on my eyes. Y'all, life insurance is the best way to pass down wealth. I don't care where you are today. Anthony, I'm drowning in debt today. I'm working your plan to get out. Cool, great. Anthony, I don't have a lot. Listen, you need to make time and financial room to get a life insurance policy. Everyone on my team has a life insurance policy. Y'all remember Michelle? She's on our team here. She's 28, has a life insurance policy. Y'all remember Jay? He has a life insurance policy. They don't have a whole lot, but they have a policy. Why? Because they love their family. They love their people. And if life was to happen, my team, myself, and hopefully you, we want our families to only miss us. We don't want our families to have to deal with the drama that we were not mature enough to handle. Which leads me to the number 3 thing that I saw that these billionaires have in common that I think we all need. They have money on reserves, AKA they have an emergency fund. Did y'all know that most Americans can't even afford to cover a $1,000 emergency fund? CNBC did a study a couple of years ago, and it bothered me when that study came out that, wait a minute, I can't afford an emergency? Wait. And I really want you to be honest, and I want to take my time right here. I got about 12 more minutes on the show, bear with me. If you have a name brand purse and you don't have $1,000 in your emergency fund, your priorities are screwed up. If you have a Gucci belt that you paid $300, $500, $800 for, and you don't have $1,000 in your emergency fund, your priorities are screwed up. If you are dropping $200, $300 on a date and you're scared to tell this woman, no, I can't afford to take you to this restaurant right now, your priorities are screwed up. Ladies, if you dropping $500, $800, $1,000 on your hair every single month, and you don't have $1,000 in your emergency fund, your priorities are screwed. Ooh, I'm about to really get some of y'all. If you are putting Jordans on your kid and you don't even have a life insurance policy for your kid, your priorities are screwed the heck up. If you got Jordans, if you got, I'm starting to see a lot of these kids with, what's that brand? I forgot this name brand. It's like brown and dark brown and man, I don't know. I forgot the name of it. But if you got name brand clothes on your baby, on your 5-year-old son, and you don't have $1,000 in your emergency fund, you don't have an estate plan for your kid, your priorities are screwed up. Because not having an emergency fund, the basics of life can seriously set you back in your wealth building journey. And check this out. If you get set back as the parent, if you get set back as a spouse, so does your family. And when you get set back, what happens? It sends you back into debt. So if you're still getting out of debt, you need to put some money into your savings account. My philosophy when it comes to your getting, I call it getting stable. You should have 1 month of your net pay inside of your emergency fund, period. After you get out of debt, you need to have 3 to 6 months of your average net pay saved. Because if you don't have 3 to 6 months of your net pay saved currently and you're out of debt, I want you to take that extra $100, that extra $500, that purse money. I want you to cut your hair stuff in half. Brothers, I want you to stop buying shoes. Brothers, I want you to stop going on these expensive dates. Brothers here and family, what I want you to do is look at your budget and start saving more money over time until you reach your 3 to 6 months of average net pay. Because billionaires have a reserve. If life was to happen for their businesses, for themselves, they have a place where they can go back to for reserves to where this way their life is not screwed up. Which leads me to number 4. They make strategic investments for their future. They're not buying things for their today solely. They're investing into assets that can produce money to buy liabilities that they enjoy. AKA, they're investing into money generating products and investments that can then fund their toys. It can then fund their fun. But they're investing into their future because they understand the power of compound interest. Compound interest plus time. Compound interest plus patience turned LeBron James into a billionaire. Compound interest plus time turned Rihanna into a billionaire. Compound interest plus time turned Michael Jordan into a billionaire. What am I saying? Compound interest plus patience and time can turn $100 into $1 million. And instead of buying shoes and items that we don't need per se, I want you to put that money into a need account. Anthony, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about, Ayo? I'm talking about, I want you to put $100 into your need account. What's a need account, Anthony? A need account is your retirement account, because when you're 70, when you're 60, when you're 80, you're going to need that account to live. So I want you to put money into a mutual fund, a need account. I want you to put money into an IRA, a need account. I want you to put money into a brokerage account, a need account. Because you're going to need it. Hear me. You're going to need it. Here's an example. Here's an example. Alina and Aaron are the same age. They are the same age. See, Alina started investing at 21 years old because she was listening to AO. She was listening to the table on Mondays and Fridays, and she was calling in on Wednesdays to ask more questions. She learned about the power of investing because she went to my website, AnthonyONeal.com, and she looked at the wealth calculator. And she said, I don't want to be broke and living paycheck to paycheck like my parents. So she invested $100 every month for 6 years, which is worth about $16,000. And then all of a sudden, life happened and she stopped contributing. But then her brother was like, yo, I thought you was rocking with AO. She was like, I did. I just got sick. Something happened. So I had to stop investing to get back on my shoes, to get back on my feet. And so you know what? Aaron, you should rock with him. Aaron started rocking with me, but he didn't start investing until he was 30. He invested $100 every month for years and years and years. But I got a question for you. E3, who do you think had more money at the end of it? Do you think Elena did, or do you think Aaron did? Here's the truth. Elena did. Why? Because of the power of compound interest that works over time and patience. I want you to think about your future now. Now. Right now. Because the average person needs about $200,000 to $300,000 just for medical bills when they get older. And if you want to be a millionaire, you must understand the power of patience and time. So Anthony, I hear you. So what do you recommend here? I simply recommended you put 15% of your money into a need account, AKA a retirement account. And if some of you are saying, Anthony, how do I get a detailed plan for investing in a strategy? I am going to put their information inside of the show notes. I've partnered with a company that has given me a plan. It's called Domain Money. And you get a discount because we are partnering now. And so I'm going to put that link inside of today's show notes. And I want you to give them a call. If you are serious about getting onto that 100,000-aire, millionaire, and billionaire status here soon, you got to do it with a strategy. You have to do it with a strategy. So I want you to click Domain Money's link inside the show notes so you can get a discount. And I promise you, they'll take real good care of you. Here's the last thing that I learned with all of them. All of them invested into real estate. All of them have a real estate portfolio. The first step that all of us could take to start a real estate portfolio is become a homeowner. You see, owning a home is a pillar of wealth building in America, and most millionaires live in a paid-for home, right? $100 probably isn't going to buy you an entire house today. No, but you can save it over time for your down payment. You can choose a 15 to 30-year mortgage on a property that doesn't really take more than 25% of your net take-home pay each month. And over time, your home will appreciate in value, which will boost your net worth. And then after you get into that home, something that I am seeing that I'm gonna start teaching more of is house hack. Go buy a home, get you live on the top floor, rent out the bottom floor. If your mortgage is $2,500, rent out the bottom floor for $1,500, and you're only spending $1,000 in rent. I'm not even opposed anymore to buying a 4-bedroom house. And maybe you live on the first floor for a year or two and you rent out the top rooms and you have all them paying your mortgage. Like, there are ways that we can start making money. There are ways we can house hack and rent out extra rooms for passive income, especially if you're in your 20s, in your 30s. And since your first home probably is not going to be your forever home, later you can rent out this home and get another set of passive income coming in, very minimum from a monthly basis, but your net worth is growing by the account of somebody else paying for the mortgage. That's what it's about. Think about that. You buy the home for $300,000. You live in it for a year, you pay off $25,000 of that. The next 10 years, 15 years, they pay it off. Now you bought it for $300,000. The home is worth $600,000. You owe nothing on it, but you only spent $25,000 out of your pocket. That means you are in the green with that investment for $500 and some $1,000. This is about patience and time. Patience and time. And let me add a bonus in here that I saw, right? They thought of other ways to invest their money and to make money. LeBron James' wealth is not coming from basketball. It's coming from off the court. Tiger Woods' wealth is not coming from golf. It's coming from off the golf course. Oprah Winfrey's wealth didn't come from the Oprah Winfrey Show. It's coming from other areas that she invested into, like real estate, like a network of her own. Once your bases are covered, I want you to think of a business opportunity that you can start or investments you can invest into, right? You got companies out there like crowdfunding and seed investments where you don't actually have to start a business, but you could put 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, however much you want into another company to help them start the company. But now you're an investor, part owner of the company, and your wealth can come from that. But you can start side businesses like being a content creator, like being a freelancer, getting into drop shipping, getting into photography. There's so many different things that you could do on the side. That your 8 to 5 is your job, but your wealth is coming from your 5 to 9. And I want to end there today. I hope y'all know that LeBron James, while he is his own boss, he has a boss. He still has to clock in for the NBA. He still has to go by rules. But what did he do? He used his quote unquote 9 to 5, his career, to fund his 5 to 9. When you look at all these billionaires, Oprah Winfrey still had a network she had to report to. But she used that to build her name. LeBron, Tiger, Michael Jordan, they use that to build their name that funds their dream. And now Michael Jordan is living his life and he doesn't have to clock in. LeBron is probably going to retire in the next year or two and he will not have to clock in. Tiger is done. I pray that this show blessed you today. Because what I'm learning is we really have to understand where we are. And if we can learn from them what all they had in common and how can we apply it on our level, I'm going to be frank with you. The majority of us are not going to become billionaires, but a lot of us can become millionaires. But are we willing to listen and are we willing to learn? If we listen, if we learn and lead with love, we'll build a legacy. Ooh, I just made up 4 L's. If you listen, and if you listen to actually learn, and if you lead, and if you love people, it'll produce a legacy. I'm going to end the show right there. God bless you, E3. God bless you, America. I hope that you got something from this show. I hope that you listened, and I hope that you learned something. Because I want you to leave a legacy. I'll see you in the next show. Peace out.